Right on. Good afternoon, everyone. First off, thank you very much for chiming into MTN Live. Of course, we have really good updates this last week, and today has been a very busy day. Of course, we have been working on a number of areas. Of course, we this morning we talked about the peacemaking in the Earth Lodge, and we talked a lot about the intergovernmental, which is intergovernmentals in the executive circle. Also, earlier today we had the guests, of course, of Lana Reset and Ron Muziabit talked about the administration part of what's happening in the circles and what's happening in the area of regional offices. Today we have the administration, and as soon as we can get Ray in, we'll get him in. I'll keep talking until Ray chimes in. Of course, we have what I'd like to do, though, is show you in our good stream, of course, our Not Gonna Away win. Our whole operations, our whole foundation, our whole system comes from the Not Gonna Away win. And then the Grand Council, of course, gives us the direction on what we need to do as a government and a nation. And they have mandated the Grand Council at that point to give it to the Governing Council for the day-to-day operations in the territory. And when the Grand Council isn't meeting, the Governing Council meets. And when the Governing Council isn't meeting, the Executive Council meets, and Ogichita is representing. And of course, Ogichita McLean, Cornell McLean from Animo Seeming, he's a great leader that has helped us go forward and move forward. Before Ogichita McLean was Ogichita Eastman, he did a wonderful job. And of course, Ogichita Bone, he did a great job as well. And before Ogichita Bone, there was Ogichita Eastman again for a few years. So that all started around 2015 when the Ogamas decided to move forward with a modern way of reclaiming its governance in the territory. This government just didn't start up yesterday. It has been around for thousands of years. It's reclaiming itself. And of course, I want to honor and recognize in the territory our Anishinaabe, our Cree, our Dakota, and our Dakota people. And it's an honor to work with all nations in our territory. We have 15 other nations when it comes to treaty in our territory. But we have 9 that made the treaty, of course, and then we have 6 that are part of the eastern doorway with Lake Winnipeg. So there's 30 in total, but the 24 nations have come together, which 12 of them have formed the government, but 12 more want to talk about the land taken up for immigration settlement. But the day before treaty, of course, stems from where do we want to be as the Anishinaabe and in a new nation today, and how do we want to move forward on it? And we've really worked hard to define where we're at and how we're going to move forward on it. There's a lot of connection in the territory. If you look at the Riding Mountain area, the Riding Mountain Band once upon a time spread out all the way to Bow Valley and down to the Montana and of course South and North Dakota. So there's a lot of connection to the Riding Mountain area, and I have a really good teaching, of course, Eugene Eastman, Ogama, and Ogichita, who really gives us the Anishinaabe way and the Anishinaabe Moen speaking and Anishinaabezing process. So it's always an honor. And he always talked about the gathering place up in Lake Catherine, and he talked about how huge Riding Mountain area was for the gathering of the nation. So we spend a lot of time working and really unifying our territory. We've seen that there is things that have to be done today, and we're working on it. So I just want to stress that it takes time to build a government, reclaim itself. It takes time to and be patient. And we need you as the members on board. 50% of our nation governmental work is to get to you as to the members, to the nations. 50% is your responsibility to come and let us know what is needed in the nations, such as program services, what kind of delivery is needed on infrastructure. It's up to you to tell your government of FNT2T to what's happening. So with that, I just want to stress that. We go into the legislative process, of course, the legislative, if you're following today's broadcast on page 11 of the handbook, it's under councils. Click on the handbook. It's a beautiful unity handbook that we have. And we really want to stress that this booklet is put together to unify the nation, the territory, and the government. We have, as you know, it's the legislative bundle that is very important when it comes to Treasury. And today we're talking about administration. But how does the administration get its mandate? It gets it through the legislative bundle. It also gets it through the Treasury and Administration law that is centered around the foundation of the Anishinaabe in a new nation. And how do we need to move forward as a nation? And how do we move forward as a government to make sure that our funds that we're collecting for immigration settlement, the land use and the land taken up, and the thieving of the resources, and the IPSs, the infrastructure programs and services. So when we met with the Prime Minister, he's the lead keeper of the colonial state of Canada. We met with him, and we were able to present him the three invoices. And I think at that time he was quite interested to know if it was reconciliation. We told him it's reconciliation. FNT2T bases all work with relations internationally as reconciliation. So internationally, the treaty was made in 1871 with International Crown. And we are working hard to make sure the treaty, of course, 2 and any other treaties in our territory are implemented properly. So the corporations and trust really stems from legislative processes, and the councils are there. So we have the Knowledge Council, the Grandmother Council, the Quaig Council, the Men's Council, the Youth Council. And these councils come from the nations. The nations get all information of their government from these councils. So the councils come to meetings and sessions, and then they go back and they give all that information back to their council if they have a council set up in the nation, or if they talk to members. They know what's going on, and we support them on that, and we do our best. Also, there's a two-way street in communications. They find out from the local nation members to what do they want as a local nation, and what do they want as members. What is the everyday, but what is the long-term goals of what is happening and what is needed as a government and a nation. The legislative bundle has given us the ability and authority to invoice Canada. It's not the one person that's hand delivering. There's a lot of pressure on that, but it's the actual resolutions and the structure of the bundle that gave the authority to invoice, and that's going to continue. There's statements being sent to Canada in the next couple of days from our Treasury Keeper, Ryan Sutherland. He's going to be able to send those off and let Canada know, hey, we're not going away. We need that money, and we need it now for the members. With that, we also have trust indenture set up and corporations set up, and we're just finalizing the bank, the T2T bank, that it will give the government of FNT2T the ability to utilize its own banking system. And down the road, the currency will really be good as well. I would like to mention we're working hard to make sure that our administration is sovereign. We have a sovereign administration. We have a really good system in place to be able to move it forward, what we're up to and what we're going towards. So I'd like to. We are waiting for Ray to come in, but in the meantime, we will keep going with the executive bundle. The executive bundle gives us a full support mechanism for administration, support for circles, support for intergovernmental, and support for regional offices. We heard from our circles and regional office keepers this morning and really highlighted some of the key areas that we're working on for engagement and communication. But this is exciting news for us. This is absolutely great that we have a great structure in place as our southern bundle that wraps around the pillar of the very foundation of the First Nations and Treaty 2 territory government. The Earth Lodge comes in with a lot of capacity building. It comes in with self-identity, of course, culture and Anishinaabe-Moin and the Innu language. We want to assure that we'll support everyone in our territory when it comes to that, and of course, wellness, well-being, lifelong learning, and nation building. We had a nation rebuild process in the last 3 years. We felt it's not rebuilding the nation, it's actually reclamation of things. So we hope that we are able to continue to do that work. We do have a very important foundation coming from the north, and that's our peacemaking. You heard this morning from Chantal Barker, our wonderful peacemaking keeper. She has wonderful staff on board, our keepers and helpers, Crystal Nipanak and Crystal Mousseau. There's only 3 Anishinaabe in that area. And our lateral kindness policy and law has really kicked in as Canada has been very abusive when it comes to our negotiations. They are doing exactly what happened in 1871, where they're belittling us with money and giving us a little crumb here and a little crumb there, and we have to change that. And that's where our invoicing has come in. And we've told Canada that we don't recognize their divide and conquer policy at all. We have to move forward with our own laws and our own processes, our guidelines and policies that are put in place for our government. It's exciting news for us. Our sovereign administration has done a wonderful job. We're hoping that we can continue with it. They are tasked to, of course, work on their 4 core areas, and their 4 core areas and functions have been human communications, as well as finance and governance. So HR, communications, finance, governance, and we have keepers in that role. We are looking for a governance keeper right now, but we do have the 3 other roles filled. So communications is a big part, looks after the strategy and lets MTN Live worry about engaging the nations, talking to the nations, talking on what's happening. Plays a huge role in communications. MTN Live really works on the basis of what is the regional offices up to, what are they doing in engagement, what are they doing in talking to the members, and how do we move forward as a government. With that, administration has a huge role in governance. The administration itself, if you look at the page 11 of the handbook, which is a great handbook to have, but page 11 of the handbook, you can find it online. You can see online where it's at. Go into FNT2T.com and check out the beautiful website on the government of First Nations and Treaty 2 territory, your government, your website, and you can really advance knowledge on both sides, coming this way and going to you, and really showcase where things are at. You know, so if you look at the Treasury Administration page itself, it really indicates on where we're at in the governance and where it wants to be. So I like to share it with you. I like to show it. I'll show it in your screen here. Go online, and of course, you can check out the Treasury Administration. You can see the Onakanawe Win is on there. Of course, the resolutions and how we talk about the Onakanawe Win itself. And of course, the action items that are very responsible for that. So we've been able to really highlight our whole administration and Treasury process. The Treasury itself is still involved. The Treasury, of course, is the external part of our government, out finding money, out controlling money within, oversees the money that has come in, audits the money that has come in. We still have an external auditor, but the internal auditor, Ryan Sutherland, he audits on a weekly basis on what's happening with all operations, especially in administration. So he really focuses on that. So I like to mention that it looks like we won't be able to get Ray on, but that's okay. I'll talk a few more minutes about the financial administration. So the administration itself is the sovereign administration, and that administration clearly looks after the internal money. So it creates a budget. We can't spend any money anymore without having a budget in place, and we're not spending any money in our government without having a budget in place. So those budgets are very critical and crucial. They're usually submitted in December of each year, and then we implement the budgets by April 1st. We're working hard at getting to that level. The Treasury and Administration Law will be going to the Grand Council. Ryan Sutherland is presenting all that information with the executive summary and the breakdown of the law and the law itself tomorrow to all the keepers and helpers. Very exciting. That's going to be on the website shortly after, and you'll be able to see it, and you'll be able to tap into that information. As a member, make sure you register for the 23rd, 24th of August. That's the Grand Council. Make sure you're there. Information is online. I would like to, again, I can show it to you where it is. So if you click on Councils, if you see that the Grand Council drop-down was there, you can click on the Grand Council and or come here and click on it, and then it breaks it down. So it gives you a full breakdown of everything that we are doing with the Grand Council. So I apologize that I guess our internet is very very slow. So we'll make sure that it's on there anyways. For some reason, the internet isn't allowing me to get there. I apologize on behalf of Bell MTS that we can't get into that. So, oh, there we go. So the Grand Council, it's all ready to go for ebb and flow, and we will we'll get into making sure that we have all the information on our website. Make sure. I'd like to kind of give you an example of the information that's going to be provided to you. So if you click on Home, you can click on the Home button and go to Peacemaking. Peacemaking will give you a breakdown of what is to you in place to where we want to go, and we want to make sure that we showcase all the information. So you heard this morning the Foundation of Peacemaking. Of course, they have a engagement session. It's important that you register for that. That's the 11th day of August. Make sure that our regional office is hosting that. Regional office hosts all our engagements, so regional office will work with Peacemaking to assure that the engagements are done. Resolutions on the Peacemaking, the Nakanoe Win executive summary, the Nakanoe Win overview, and the PowerPoint presentation, and of course the briefing note. So, and then we talk about capacity building at all levels with the Earth Lodge. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the Ogamas. Keep up the good work. We have a lot of really keen Ogamas, and Ogichita McLean has been wonderful to work with in the last little while since he's been elected in as Ogichita. We're going to be talking about all the processes and laws on the 23rd, 24th of August in ebb and flow. So we hope that you can get there as a member. It's your responsibility to know what's happening with your government. We will do our best to get to you. To the monies that we have is very limited, but we'll get to you. Very important that you make it to the Grand Council in ebb and flow. But also, we have the 9th and 10th of August. We have a really strong circle keeper in Craig Bolio. He is helping ebb and flow out with the summer games, and the summer games first time around. And we had the winter games in Penamatang. The sports and recreation, of course, is a circle, and we'll be talking a lot about the sports and recreation next week. I want to really stress the importance of making sure, if you want a copy of this booklet, we'll send it out, email office@FNT2T.com. But if you'd like a copy today and really quickly, it's easy to find. If you go back onto where it is on the website, I want you to click on where it says right on the header. We have many areas, of course, to click on. But if you click on government, exactly on government, that will give you really neat options to find. So if you click on government, you click on councils, and then scroll right down. You can scroll right down to the page and see that there is the regional development, but also the booklet. So the booklet will give you a chance to see the Unity booklet. With that, Kichimigwich, Nanaskamin, and Ekosani for all the work that everyone's been doing and what we're up to as a government. With that, thank you, and signing off, Bo Kubrakovich, Wabasha Kanu Dagashan Dislakas. Thank you very much for your time and the chance to share this once again to what we're up to as the government and nation.